By the light of the sun, by the depth of the moon, by the flame of the wand, and by the pentacle of earth, I call upon the guides of wisdom, the ancestors of the craft, and the holy guardian angel. Guide us now through the stations of the dove and serpent. Reveal what is hidden, that we may transform it into light. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. In this reading, we walk the path of the dove and serpent spread, an 11-fold journey of transformation. Each position reveals a unique aspect of your journey, alternating between the essence of your being and the events that shape your destiny. Remember to hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Cancer, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we start with a Two of Cups. This is the card of love. You're somebody with a real love for who you are, a love for what you're doing, a love for the people around you. I feel like you're radiating love. This is our first card. First position, called the Station, reveals your sense of self, how you see yourself, what is on your mind, what is the motivating sort of preoccupation of your life right now. I think that you're full of love. Love is driving you forward. Love is your motivation. And I think that when you have love, gratitude, when you have appreciation, when you have support, when you have reciprocating relationships, supportive, encouraging relationships, I feel like it really affects how we see the world. You know? And I think you're somebody that is very thoughtful and considering of other people. You're very caring. You're very kind. And I think that, you know, this is Venus in Cancer, this card. It's sort of one of your primary cards, you know. And I think it really is talking about this love that you feel in your heart. Now, I guess we have to ask, are you experiencing this in the world? Is this something that you're letting other people see, you're letting other people feel it and know it, or is this something that tends to be a little bit more concealed? Is there somebody that you really want to tell them how you feel, you haven't told them? Is there some urge to merge that you're feeling in your life, but you haven't acted on it? Okay. How are we experiencing the giving and receiving of love? Are we letting people see our love? Are we sharing it? This is divine love. This is self-love, platonic love, and romantic love. How, if we're feeling this inside of us, are we acting on it? Are we letting it manifest in our world, or are we keeping it sort of, you know, keeping it under our jacket, right? Let's put this card into a little bit of context. Now, Cancer, you are not here by accident, all right? You are meant to see this. There's our authenticity. There's the Prince of Cups. We have the Libra energy, the adjustment card. We have the Moon card. We have the Temperance card. We have a Princess of Swords. Over here, we have a Princess of Wands. We have a Three of Wands. We have a Nine of Pentacles and a Six of Swords. I think that's very good. We're going to select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it over here with our little octopus friend, the Eight of Tentacles, right there on top. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end, all right? But it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. So you do have to watch until the end, right? If you have a prediction for that card, please put it in the comments down below. Okay? Now, if this reading found you, please trust that it was time for you to see this. Let's take a look around the room here. We've got major, major, major. Okay? You're being sort of scooped along by the major arcana cards here. It's kind of forming this, this crest of this wave behind you, pushing you forward. Okay? So you may feel as if life has been sort of, there's been some kind of an inertia, some kind of a momentum behind you. Something has been sort of pushing you forward in life. Okay? Maybe through certain types of events, or just like the way your life is unfolded, it feels like there is an unseen hand, right? Feels like there's something kind of pushing you along. Yeah, the spirit. The spirit. So we've got our majors. You got fire, you got water, you got air, you got earth. Okay? And to me, it feels like this is all about the authenticity of this Prince of Cups. This is position 2, the battlefield. It reveals what's kind of blocking your path, or more about what your personal quest is, what your task is right now, where your challenge might lie. And these are events. This is the way that you sort of behave around other people. I think that you're someone who has a really intense feeling, but when you get out there around other people, you tend to not always be yourself, right? It's like you have this strong desire to get to know somebody, but when you get around them, maybe you're a little shy, you know? That you really have this love in your heart. You want to do something tremendously. But then when you get that opportunity, when we get out there in the world, we sort of, we hesitate. Maybe we shy away, okay? Maybe we don't let our true self kind of come out to play. You know, we don't say the thing that we want to say. We don't act in the way that we really want to act. And then maybe later on we say, gosh, I should have said something. I should have told him how I felt. I wish I would have been more, more true to what I feel. So that's what the Prince of Cups is all about. Learning how to be ourselves in any situation, right? Prince of Cups is all about that authenticity. You walk into a room and you're you. And you have your feelings inside. You got this love inside of you. This is about you expressing that love. We don't need to hide it away. We don't need to keep it a secret. Okay? And I'm not just talking about romantic love, right? Put your pitchforks away, right? It doesn't have to be that all the time, but it could be. It could be that you really have very fond feelings for people, but you have a difficult time showing it right now. You have a difficult time kind of letting people know or acting on those feelings in that way that is authentic, And so it feels to me a little bit shy. But you're learning how to be authentic. You're learning how to be yourself. You're learning how to say, I'm here, this is what I'm feeling, and this is I'm motivated by my feelings to express myself in a particular way. We're not going to hide our feelings away, We don't have to be harsh about it. We don't have to be, we don't have to be too intense. We don't have to be abrasive or forceful or aggressive or anything. But we need to say, look, I'm feeling this way, and I need to feel comfortable with myself that I can feel this, and I can express this, and I can be myself. Okay? Especially with the Two of Cups, it feels like there's an urge to merge. It's like you really want to do something, but when it really comes down to it, there's something that's blocking us. There's some reason why we're hesitating a little bit. So this is a combination of cards that's requiring we grow, we transform. Yeah, and we act on the feelings that we have. We allow ourselves to feel how we feel and not be too shy about things, That we can, especially with the positive feelings, love kind of feelings, the positive feelings, it's like we really want to express our love for our family, right? But it tends to not really come out the right way sometimes. Or that you really have this desire to try something new, to do something, to become something, to learn something, and yet we're a little bit shy. So sometimes this love or this appreciation or this gratitude and this desire for connection doesn't always translate the right way. Yeah, maybe we stumble over our words, maybe we get a little anxious, or we get a little nervous, and we may not express ourselves the right way, because that's the Prince of Cups. Okay. So where are we being called right now to express ourselves authentically? It's kind of like, you're being told to paint a picture. You're being asked to, here, paint a picture. And you're kind of like, you know what you want to paint, but there's part of us that's like kind of thinks, what do they expect me to paint? What do they want me to paint? Who do they want me to be? Rather than me being myself and painting what I feel, what I want, what I love, we're taking into consideration the other people. It's kind of like you're going to decorate your home, but you're asking everybody else in the family how they want it to look, and you're not getting much of you're not having your voice. Okay. And so I think that it's our challenge right now to be as authentic as we can, at least with ourselves, to say, this is what I truly want and this is what I feel. Now, how can I translate that to positive, healthy behaviors and conversations and meaningful exchanges with people and that sort of thing? Down beneath the surface, we've got the character of your soul, right? Position 3 reveals some of the unconscious drives, something happening under the surface here for you. And this is a card of, to me, it perhaps is echoing what we've been talking about, perhaps giving too much weight to the opinions of others, or considering other people's feelings or desires too much that we end up concealing our own. Two people are trying to decide what to have for dinner. You really want Mexican food, but your friend says, let's go have Chinese. And how often do we say, okay, Chinese it is, I think that it's really just about you knowing what's in your heart and feeling that you are allowed and that you are safe and that you are deserving of that kind of expression. Being able to like the things that you like and pursue those things. Okay, this is a card of, sometimes it's a card of choices, or how much we value things. That I value this more than I value that over there, right? And so we're making choices that we may feel are the more reasonable or logical or the kind of the better choice. But it may be a choice that's kind of like not valuing our feelings enough. We're making the logical choice, sure, but what does your heart want? And so now we kind of see that there's a reversal here. We see that you're sort of pushing down this kind of logic, this the weighing of options now is kind of, it's taking on a different meaning. I think what we're doing is we're weighing, it's a weighing of the heart, really, right? That we're now taking more, we're placing more weight on our feelings. In other words, we're using, when we're making our choices, we're considering our feelings. We're giving our feelings way more of a voice than we used to. We're learning to trust that, because I think Cancer, there's a tendency for us to be a little bit overly intellectual, for us to be considering too many factors when making a decision, rather than just saying, what do I want? How do I feel? How do I really feel about this person or this thing or this activity or this choice? Not going through all the different things that might, we're weighing those options. Going through all the different considerations. I think we're starting to put a lot more stock into how we feel and what we want. And I think this is that kind of emotional landscape right now where we're kind of like, we almost feel that it is, it's safer for us to conceal how we really feel about things. Okay. This is the card of karma, perhaps. This is the card of relationships that tend to be more acquaintances than intimate friends. Okay, that there has been a distance, perhaps, between people. What we're looking for is intimacy, authenticity, real connections, right? And yet this is kind of a card that's saying it's too formal, staying on the periphery, staying in the kind of co-workers, not friends, rather than being really able to get close to people. And this may not be something that we necessarily want. We don't want to be just formal acquaintances with everybody. We want that intimacy, right? We want to experience something deeply. It's not just about friends or relationships. This is maybe things that you really want to have in your life. We tend to stay just on the outer edge of it rather than really diving in, trusting our feelings and being authentic and letting our true self come out and lead us into something that we want to immerse ourselves in. We tend to stay on the outside and look in, rather than being on the inside and saying, wow, you know. So I think that there's something changing inside of you. I think that you're starting to put a lot more value. We're giving a lot more credence to how we feel about things, and not so much about what other people may want or what we may perceive other people expecting of us. Again, with that picture, we're being told to draw a picture, and we think, well, what do they want me to draw? What would they like for me to draw? I think we're starting to learn now, instead of, you know, when we're giving gifts for people, right? Something I've started to do. Instead of giving somebody a gift that you know they want or you know they need, which is very thoughtful. That's what we do. We know somebody well enough that I know what they would want and I'll get them what they want. I think you're starting to give people gifts that is more an expression of yourself. And to me, that's always, that's always kind of meant more to me. When I get a gift from somebody could give me a gift that they like, oh, you must know me very well. You got me something that I would like. And I appreciate that very much. But when somebody gives me a gift that's something that they like, then I feel like, wow, you're really sharing something with me. You know, that maybe there's a little bit of a balance there, a little bit of overlap. But to give somebody something that's from your heart, that feels like you're kind of giving them a real glimpse into who you are. Rather than just getting them something that you know they want or need, it's less intimate. Does that make sense? So try it anyway, or think about it at least. Well, let's look in the background here. Position 4 is the dwarf. This is something in the rear view mirror. Okay, and it's the moon card. It's sort of a dark, scary forest. It feels as if there is something that is, there's something that has yet to emerge from you. Does that make sense? It feels like there is, there's something that we haven't really confronted yet. And it maybe is a past event that's still echoing in your present. And so maybe it was I don't think it was one thing, actually. I think it was it was a period of time where your feelings, your desires, your ideas, the things that you liked were sort of like shut down. Maybe from our upbringing, the way we were raised, where you would be into something, you'd be interested in something, you'd be vibing with something, and a family member or something like this, parents, guardians, would kind of shut it down. Or even, I'm almost feeling like we were made fun of for liking certain things. Yeah, and something pushed us deeper inside of ourselves to where we're not letting people really get to know us. It's kind of like we built a wall. Yeah, and I think it's kind of like we're hiding in the shadows a little bit, hiding our true selves away in the shadows when what we should be is just loud and proud, you know? And so in this place, it's kind of like this is where we feel safe. We feel safe when we're alone. We feel safe when nobody else is around and I can just enjoy the things that I like. I can be myself. You know, we act very real when we're alone. And then, of course, we get around other people and automatically we're in that mode of like, who am I supposed to be? What do they want me to be? What am I supposed to say? We sort of lose a little bit of that authenticity. But in here, in the shadows, we can be ourselves. Reminds me of that show, What We Do in the Shadows. Love that show. Such a funny show. Laszlo, obviously my favorite. But anyway, that's kind of, that's a real thing. And I think that it's because there are these parts of ourselves that we're learning to embrace now. Anyway, I think this is a good thing. Because I kind of feel like we're being reborn now. I feel like this is a doorway where we've started to let more of our true self up. We've started to let more of our sun shine into the world. See that little solar disk at the bottom is coming up over the horizon. I think we're in the middle of this process of kind of a rebirth. where we're accepting ourselves. We're not going to hide ourselves away in the shadow. We're not going to dim our light. You're not going to hide your sunlight in the shadows, underground, hide it from everybody. No, this is me. And this is what I like. This is who I am. Not everybody's going to vibe with me, and that's okay. But I'm not going to let my past make me that kind of, that timid person that's going to hide myself away. Yeah. This is a divine doorway. Let's do a divine doorway oracle card. I feel like this is a doorway that we're still in the process of walking through, So what does it say? Bless this space. Your sacred space holds the soul to bear. Palo Santo or sage will clear the air. Your sacred space holds the soul to bear, right? The sacred space. It's where we feel safe, where we feel sacred, where I can be myself and do my thing. And then, of course, I get around my other friends and we're behaving in a different way. Okay? And so it's kind of like nobody gets to know the real you. But they want to get to know you. We all do. We want to know who you are. And so, the Palo Santo or the sage to clear the air, I think that really is sort of purifying something. We're kind of, we're almost like we're banishing the past. And we're sort of, we're acknowledging what our past has sort of done to us, or whether it's our upbringing or something that maybe happened at school or whatever. Maybe we were bullied, maybe we were made fun of. We're sort of saying that's okay, and I need to acknowledge that and really face that darkness to understand, well, that's why I tend to be more reserved or behind a wall now. And I'm trying not to do that as much. Okay? And so that sacred space kind of is now, we have to kind of, we have to feel like that sacred space can come with us everywhere we go. And not everywhere now, of course. I mean, there's time and a place for us to, sometimes we have to just kind of wear the persona and that's that. So it's all about, the appropriateness of our behavior, but to realize that we don't have to hide ourselves away. Now, the giant position 5, this is kind of the driving force, right? This is the motivation for you. Personal virtue. This is the art or temperance card. Realizing that our life is a piece of art, and we are the artist. Okay? And the authentic artist is one that's creating what they feel in their soul, and they're letting that soul out onto the canvas, and that's what I painted. Not feeling like, what should I paint? What is it that they want me to paint? What's the painting that's going to sell? Who do I need to be that other people will like, so that I can make the right connections in my life? Or do I just want to paint? We have to. This is soul art. We have to be our own artist of our own lives. Okay. This is the pressure cooker. This is the blacksmith's anvil. This is a really challenging kind of transformative process here. And I think this is the big looming, like, it's kind of, to me, it kind of feels like the battlefield, right? Because this is where you go out into the world and either the world changes you or you change the world, okay? And maybe that's too black and white. We don't have to think of it quite so distinctly. But this is the idea that as soon as I'm out in the world, around other people or out living my life, doing the day, whatever it is, running errands, going to work, that it's the world changing who I am. It's me adapting to the world. It's me just being what I think the world wants me to be, rather than me going out into the world and I'm bringing my energy out here to the world. I'm being my vibe, right? So the Prince of Cups walks into a crowded room and immediately is assimilated into the emotional energy of the room, right? If everybody in the room was angry, now I'm in here, I'm angry too. Or the Prince of Cups walks into that room and everybody else in the room was angry, but I'm still me. I'm still the same way I was before I walked in here. Okay? And that's something that is very subtle. We may not always realize that we do that. How often do we take on the emotions of other people? I'm having a perfectly good day, right? Somebody I come across is very grumpy. Now suddenly I'm grumpy too. Wait a minute. Why am I grumpy? Because they're grumpy. What? That doesn't make any sense, you know? And sometimes that feels like a compensation, right? Sometimes it feels like it's a way for us to blend in with the group in order for safety, right? That if the group is feeling a certain way, I'm going to come in, I'm going to feel that way too, and at least that way I'm part of the group, and that's sort of like, you know, that's keeping us connected in a way. But the Temperance card here, it feels like we're sort of realizing that we can't exist that way anymore. And so maybe we're making it more of a conscious kind of practice to observe where we end up changing shape because of the events that are happening around us. Again, it's kind of the blacksmith's anvil. And I think we may notice that this happens a lot more often than we think, especially emotionally. Okay. So right now you're being told that whatever it is you feel inside your heart, whatever you love here, you got to start expressing it in a way that feels right and feels authentic for you. The position 6, the Imago, the Princess of Swords, this is giving ourselves permission to put our foot in our mouth sometimes, to say the wrong thing, to fumble our words, to stutter, and to spit nonsense sometimes, right? In an attempt to share with people what's in our heart. Okay? This is, you know, you're going to write the story, you're going to paint the picture, you're going to sing the song, you're going to have the conversation, you're going to buy the gift for somebody, you're going to be yourself, you're going to love what you love, and do what feels right for you, even if sometimes we make a mistake. Because we're learning here. Right? We're learning kind of how to live a new way. It's like we've just been born, and we've got to kind of figure out how to walk. It's like a baby deer, you know. We've got to figure out how to you know, steady the legs here. And so the very next step for you is to get out into the world and express yourself in a way that feels authentic. Tell people how you feel about them. You know, don't feel like you always have to change your shape in order to please other people, or in order to fit in, or in order to be accepted or to get along in some situation. This is the card that we're not perfect. It's a princess, it's a page, it's a knight in training, right? We're not experts at this. I'm just figuring out how to do it. You know, I'm trying to figure out how to express myself, how to take the love I feel inside of me and let the world see it. Let it out in some way. Maybe we have to experiment. We have to find different ways to express ourselves until we find the path that really feels right, that sort of vibes with us. Okay? So the main sort of work for you right now is to start experimenting. The immediate steps forward, right? The goals that you have are just to get out there and find a way to express your authenticity. Okay, make choices, try new things, start new things, paint something, write something, you know, have a conversation, have an opinion about something, have a feeling about something that you're willing to share with others. You got a lot of love inside of you, and a lot of creativity. Okay, a lot of desire, a lot of aspiration. You have it's like you have a unique taste in music, but you only listen to it when you're alone. And you don't tell anybody, you don't share it with anybody. You certainly don't listen to it out in public or in the car. You know what I mean? It's just for you, by yourself. And sometimes that's fine, that's good, you know? We have to have things that are just for us. But is it because we feel like we're embarrassed to share, or we're afraid of what other people are going to think, or how they're going to react? What if they don't like what we like? So what? You know? And I tell you, I was like that for a long time. I really like 21 Pilots. My wife hates them. And for a long time, like, I would only listen to them myself and with my headphones when I'm alone. Now, I play them in the car, I play them around the house, I don't care. You know? And it's a silly example, but it sort of illustrates the point. Yeah. let's talk about the path of the serpent. And as we do this, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. And if there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. So your persona is the position 7, okay? It kind of shows the public mask, the social face that we wear, and how we present ourselves to the world, and it's the Princess of Wands. To me, this feels like it's very far away from the Prince of Cups, right? So we may have this persona that we just, that we are being ourselves, right? We may have a little bit of swagger in our step, a little bit of arrogance, or even a little bit of the absence of a desire to connect with something deeper. Does that make sense? Because that's what we really want. We really want to connect with something so deep. I want people, I want relationships, I want intimacy. But we have a rather aloof kind of Princess of Wands. The persona is kind of like, don't really care about getting anything deeper. I just want, I just want like new adventures. And maybe it feels like when we start to get too close to somebody, we end up getting a little distracted, or we get a little nervous maybe, and so we say, oh, I got to go over here. I got to go talk to that person. And we excuse ourselves. We find a reason to sort of move on, because this is a very impulsive energy. And this is sort of bouncing from one thing to the other, touching on a lot of different things, but never really getting deeper. Okay? And this may be a compensation. We may have learned how to live on the periphery so that we avoid getting hurt when we try to get too close. That when I get too close, when I reveal too much of myself, I end up getting hurt. And so now I've kind of learned that this is the right persona, to just stay on the edge, stay on the outside. Things getting a little too serious, see ya. Things getting a little bit too deep, a little bit too personal, a little bit too intimate, see you later. Okay. And this might be a persona that is protecting us, serving us well, but I don't know that it really serves our highest truth right now. So I feel that the Princess of Swords is giving us a little bit of an option here. Let's observe. Let's pay attention to the way we're sort of behaving in the world, and see if it's something that is really satisfying to us and makes sense for us and feels good, or if we need to change something. Okay. And now the next card, of course, is the Three of Wands, and this is the position of your shadow. Things in your environment right now are motivating you to reveal your true identity. It's kind of like people want to know that you're a superhero. You don't have to hide it away. It's like a Superman Clark Kent kind of thing. It's like, it's okay if people know you. It's okay if people know you're Superman. This is the card of virtue, Three of Wands. Shows our identity. It shows that we know who we are, and we know why we're here. And now this is something that's happening around you that is, it's kind of like every day we get an opportunity to be our authentic selves. And it's kind of, it's revealing, it's something around you and something happening in your relationships or in your environment. It's giving you the opportunity, inviting you to bring your true self out of the shadows. Okay? It's circumstances that are testing you, kind of testing your virtue. And it may be that, there seems like there's a lot going on right now where we're kind of like, we're realizing that, as much as I want to fit in with everybody else, I just can't let myself behave this way. I'm not going to do what these other people are doing. I'm going to have to kind of go my own way here and be my authentic self, because I don't agree with certain things, okay? And so it's like we're being tested by these very serious situations that are demanding that you just be yourself, because you don't want to be like, you don't want to fit in this way. You don't have to fit in and go along just to get along. Yeah. And so the virtue here, I think, is important. It's our own identity. It's doing the right thing. So it feels like there's something happening around you now where if you were to go along just to get along, you wouldn't really appreciate that about yourself, You'd almost feel like you've betrayed a kind of core principle here. And so it does feel like something quite serious for you. that there's no choice but for me to just kind of be me and say, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not going that direction. I'm not going to go along with what everybody else is doing. Okay? Because this and this position are very intimately tied together. Okay? The Justice card, this sort of the formal connections, the sort of or even the way we value things, right? We have to understand what is more important to us, our authentic self, or these maybe spiritual principles, or these ethical or moral considerations, right? Your own sort of like moral compass or your own spiritual compass. Is that more important to you than fitting in or kind of getting along or avoiding the potential the potential disharmony with somebody that doesn't agree with you? Where in your life can you stand up and be yourself and challenge something that you don't agree with? Does that make sense? And it's not, we're not out here looking for a fight, but where can we kind of where can we hold our own opinion and our own belief and really cling to our moral compass or our true identity and resist something that is it's like Spirit's bringing us a situation to tempt us to see if we're going to go along with it or if we're going to say, hey, wait a minute, no, that's not me, I'm not doing that. Okay, so I think there's something going on where we have that kind of thing. It's like at school, it's like all these kids are picking on one kid and we just jump in and we start picking on that kid too. We say, no, wait a minute. That's not me. That's not who I am. I don't do that. And you shouldn't do it either, you know. So that's kind of what this card is in this position, yeah. Now the 9 of Pentacles that we see is kind of the fear. And this is a fear or a worry perhaps, right, and anxiety. And to me, it feels like these two positions are very well connected, just as these two are. But these two now are saying, like, when I'm out here in the world and I'm allowing myself to be molded and shaped by the people around me or the events around me, do I like who I'm becoming? Okay. What do I fear becoming here? Maybe we fear being molded and shaped into something that isn't authentic for us. Okay. And maybe it has something to do with like material goals versus kind of emotional or spiritual goals here. Okay. But I think generally this is that card of like, how are we being shaped by the experiences of life, by the interactions with people and with particular events and circumstances. If we are allowing ourselves to be molded and changed, and then it's sort of kind of, we're taking on the opinions of others, we're taking on the behaviors of others, we're sort of molding ourselves around what everybody else is doing, and I don't think we want to do that anymore. Okay, so I think we're realizing that, hey, I don't like who I'm becoming. I don't like that I'm getting further away from the things that used to matter so much to me. And they still do. They're still in there somewhere, but they're so far into the shadows that I've forgotten about them in some sense. And I don't like that. I don't like who I'm becoming here. I want to get back to the real me. Yeah. And now the 6 of Swords is very interesting because it's the card of destiny. And to me, this feels like it's a card of harmony and resonance. So it is, it's a card of it's a card of balance. It's a card of harmony. Right, and it's saying that I want to have a relationship with the world. I don't want to just be consumed by the world and completely molded and shaped into something I don't want to become. But I also don't expect me to go out and force I don't feel like I have the right to go out and force my opinion on other people, obviously. So we're looking for a reciprocating flow. We're looking for that harmony. We're looking for that exchange of ideas. We're looking for friends, for family, for people that really value us because we're different, because we have different opinions, and different ideas about things. We're not looking for one extreme or the other. And of course, our Temperance card and our Adjustment card is they're both talking about balance. I'm kind of taking a middle path here, which is I know that I have to adapt to the world, but I know that the world's going to have to adapt to me a little bit too. Doesn't mean I'm going to force myself on other people, force my opinions or my way of life or the things that I like. I'm not going to make my wife love 21 Pilots. She should, but she doesn't. That's okay. She likes her own music. But to also, the other way around, I'm not going to start disliking them because she doesn't like them. That would be absurd, right? So instead, we appreciate each other because we're different. We appreciate that she likes music that I don't like, and I like music that she doesn't care for. And that's okay, right? We can celebrate our differences, and maybe we can be exposed to certain elements of our different nature that will help us to grow a little bit, you know? That maybe over time I'll realize that I've been too limited in my musical interests. And so by being open to what she listens to, I'll start to grow a little bit, and I'll say, yeah, I'm kind of changing my mind about things. I like some other stuff. But I certainly don't want to be completely overrun by that to the point where you only like the music that your significant other listens to, you know. So it's got to be harmony. It's got to be a mutual exchange here. And this is the realm of wholeness and fulfillment. And I think this is really, really important here. But for right now, it's about you learning to appreciate what you like and being sort of proud of the things that you desire, the aspirations that you have. I'm going to look at the mystery card. Let's uncover this mystery together. Okay, this is position 11. This is the guide. This is the card that reveals what Spirit's trying to say to you. Your higher self, the inner wisdom, usually is a character quality we have to develop in order to walk the path ahead. I feel like this is going to be a card of rebirth, maybe the death card, maybe the sun, maybe another moon card. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Well, let's see what we have. Oh, the Judgment card. Yes, sure. Judgment, rebirth, reawakening, the baptism by fire, right? So it's kind of like this is the spiritual alarm clock. This is Spirit saying, wake up, because we're getting further away from who we really are. And it's time to reconnect with ourselves. It's time to be reborn, right, into our life and to emerge from the depths and emerge out of the shadows and say, this is me. Kind of letting our freak flag fly here a little bit. Not forcing ourselves on the world or forcing our opinion. Nobody has to conform to who we are and what we like. But we deserve sort of, equal opportunity to just be ourselves and to like what we like. As long as we're not hurting anybody, that sort of thing. And so this is an opportunity for us to really make a change. This is like, I'm done hiding away in the crypt, in the tomb, in the shadows, and I'm just going to be myself, ready to start that new life, and ready to tell people how I feel, ready to, if I want something, I'm gonna work toward it. I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna feel like I deserve it, and I'm going to feel like there is value in what I want to pursue in life. You want to be the world's best bowler. No need to be embarrassed about that, to where it's like, I'm not going to do it. I don't want to tell anybody. Or you want to be a poet, writer, a dancer, singer, whatever. To just do it. Just try, and not let the world tell you, no, you shouldn't do that. That's ridiculous. That's not a good thing to aspire to be. And I can't believe you like that sort of thing, right? We don't want anyone in our life to sort of criticize the things that we personally enjoy. Of course, there will be, right? But we're going to like it anyway. Yeah. Because I don't believe that we're doing that to other people. We're not criticizing what other people like. And we just want to be left alone to sort of enjoy what we enjoy. But rather than even being left alone, I think we want to be able to appreciate the differences. Yeah. Anyway, try to let this message settle into your heart. Each card is a mirror. Each station is a temple of transformation. alternating between who you're becoming and the world you are creating. Remember that the tarot does not dictate your future, it reveals the patterns of possibility. It invites you to co-create your destiny. If this reading has illuminated your soul path in any way, please share your reflections down below. Together we journey onward, ever upward and ever inward. And we're going to do an extended reading as well if you want to stick around. We'll do an I Ching hexagram, we'll do some oracle cards. There is a link in the corner and there's a link down below in the video description. New readings for Cancer on Tuesdays and Fridays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.